Hi, my name is Olivia Garcia, and last semester in my Honors 360 class, I had the opportunity to conduct a research project about the relationship between energy and culture. So my paper analyzes how the construction of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam will affect the politics of the Nile Basin region, primarily between Ethiopia, Egypt, and Sudan. This project is important because it looks at how power is often synonymous with resource and energy control, and demonstrates an example of a conflict over a natural resource. So the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, or GERD, is a $5 billion dam project constructed by Ethiopia on the Blue Nile River, which is a major tributary of the Nile River. And it provides about 68% of the water flow to the downstream countries of Egypt and Sudan. There are 11 countries included in the Nile Basin region, but this map focuses on the key players in the conflict: Egypt, Sudan, and Ethiopia. So a key term here is Hydra Hegemony, which, defined by Zeaton and Warner's 2006 paper, is the political dominance over a river basin that, through different forms of water resource control, allow for a country to be dominant over other basin countries. Egypt has long exercised a monopoly over the Nile Basin region through strategies such as proxy wars, political threats, and international backing, but most notably through the use of water allocation treaties, of which there have been several over the last century, beginning during the British colonial rule of the region. So there are three major treaties that I'm going to highlight here, but the first one I want to focus on is the 1929 agreement between Egypt and the then Anglo-Egyptian Sudan, which was the first to spell out specific allocations of Nile water, with Egypt receiving 48 billion cubic meters and Sudan receiving 4 billion cubic meters of water annually. Additionally, this treaty gave Egypt control over the Nile during the dry season and the power to veto upstream development projects. In 1959, a similar agreement was ratified, although this one gave Sudan more power. Again, Egypt received the majority of the water allocations, but the agreement established that Egypt and Sudan were to share power over vetoing development projects and were to represent a united front against claims from upstream countries, who have to ask for permission to pretty much do anything with the water. This began to shift in the late 20th century and into the 2000s, with downstream countries coming together with cooperative initiatives that promoted mutual benefit sharing. Ethiopia headed the Cooperative Framework Agreement in 2010 that emphasized the sovereign right of states to control resources within their borders and to dissolve colonial-era agreements. Both Egypt and Sudan were against these initiatives. So the construction of the dam presents a huge opportunity to shift the historical hegemony in the region. Ethiopia within the last 30 years has transformed its image from being a poor, famine-stricken country into a country with a strong developing economy and with political and social stability. In building the largest hydroelectric dam in Africa, Ethiopia now holds the cards to alter and change the water flow of the world's longest river. Completion of the dam will result in an estimated 6,000 megawatts of cheap, renewable energy, which Ethiopia plans to export to neighboring countries in an effort to promote mutual benefit sharing and to increase the development of the entire region. So initially, the major conflict between these three countries was that in constructing the dam, Ethiopia was completely bypassing all historical agreements made by Egypt and Sudan. However, as time has gone on and the dam nears completion, the conflict has shifted and is focused now on the time frame of Ethiopia filling the dam's reservoir. This is because now Egypt faces severe water scarcity, and the thought of someone else having control of their water flow and the water levels is alarming to them. If Ethiopia fills the dam too fast, this results in dramatic water level changes for Egypt. But in filling the dam over a longer period of time, Egypt will have more time for planning and adapting to this problem. Ethiopia, however, wants to finish this project as soon as possible because the project is already way off schedule and they want to reap the benefits now. What's significant here, though, is that Sudan's stance has changed as they now agree that they will gain more benefits from the dam for their agriculture sector, for the operations of their own dams, and to use the energy that's produced because they have the infrastructure in place already to utilize it. This has led them to side more with Ethiopia and shows a change in the power structure because Ethiopia controls the benefits. Completion of the dam is inevitable at this point, and it's going to force these countries to find solutions that focus more on cooperation and bring an end to monopolistic water holdings in the area. This dam represents how an energy infrastructure project can affect and challenge the established norms of a culture in a region.